Welcome or welcome back. My name is Tanya Chacon. I have just moved 2 days ago or something. My room is a mess, and at the same time, a lot of things are blank. So I tried to decorate in this manner. Okay, so I'm usually not the person who does New Year's resolutions. I used to always think that they're kind of stupid, like you're fooling yourself, pretending that you're a new person, and so I did not like the idea of it. But so last year was the first time I ever made a vision board for a year. I made goals such as I wanted to move. I did move. I wanted to get a job. I did not get a job, but I am studying right now, so that kind of is taking me out of the race for the moment and will hopefully help in the future. I wanted to finish my draft, my book. I did not do that, but we will get to that. But I did a lot of writing. I wrote a lot of words. And I wanted to be more artsy. Didn't necessarily do that either. We will also get to that. And I wanted to make more friends. And I think I'm in the process of it. Like online, I have a lot of new friends. Offline, not so much. But I think the most important thing that happened last year, honestly, is that and this will sound a little bit grandiose or whatever, but I became a writer last year. Now, I have been trying to write this book for longer than that. I began in 2020. When I say this book, the book that I had spent most time working on, of course, as I think is normal for a beginner, because I was very much a beginner, starting to write for pretty much the first time. If you ignore like a few things here or there, I felt very like out of my depth and like would compare myself to other writers on YouTube or that I would become friends with later, and always feel like I'm not there yet. Like I'm not a writer in the same sense as they are. I didn't like the words that came out of me, and just a lot of self-doubts and just not feeling steady on my legs, which is normal and fine. But I think that this year that changed, and I became a writer. Like my sense of self, my self-conception has changed over the course of this year. A few things happened. I started this YouTube channel. I made other YouTube friends. I joined a Discord server, which I love dearly, the Storytellers Society Discord, run by CK Jensen and Dami, where Dami S writes here. So many wonderful people are in there, and we do so many fun things, and incredibly this Discord is just 1 year old, more or less. I struggled a lot with writing the draft for Echoes and Waves, my first work in progress. I was dictating and writing a lot of words. At some point I reshuffled the cards, changed the concept because it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like a real book. There was a long stretch where I didn't write, but I think the most important, or the most wonderful things at least, happened towards the end of the year. I became more involved, more comfortable in the Discord. Like I'm in there like basically every day, chatting with people and participating in the different events that we put on, and joining the sprints and stuff. From a prompt party kind of thing in the Discord, spraying a new work in progress idea into my head, which also I think solidified my sense of being a writer, because that was something that I was feeling uncertain about for a long time, because I only had this one project and I never had any other idea that would like become big like a novel or would attach itself to my brain in any way. And it happened with this one. It is called Sunken Timepiece, and now I have two works in progress. And I have for Secret Santa in December, of course, very much late to the deadline. If you know me, you know me. So that is my thing. I do have ADHD. Deadlines are their deadlines when you approach them. Anyway, so I wrote a short story for that, one which I am really, really proud of, especially because I actually finished the story. It has a whole arc. It's like a self-contained story. I think it's about 8,700 words, thereabout. I edited it, I revised it, or not revised it, I edited it in several rounds, did a lot, I'm really proud of it. I also had a poem randomly come into my head, and then I was like, whoa, I like writing poems, and apparently I'm not bad at it, at least in this one format of poetry, and I think I definitely want to branch out. I have to keep an eye on the time. Also, for this project Sunken Timepiece, I had written a few pages from the very beginning and was very, very pleased with the voice that came out of me, which also voice and my writing style was also always a sense of insecurity for me. I think my writing stamina has gotten better in different ways, so there are a lot of ways that I feel much more of a writer now, and that is incredible. I think a big part of that is also having so many writing friends and being so involved in the writing community. How could you not be a writer then? How could you not be a writer if you chat about writing all of the time and you share all of these joys and plights of being a writer with other writers? At some point you can't really argue with the facts anymore, right? So yeah, I am very, 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 very happy about this development this year, or last year, 2025, and now we're in a new year, and I kind of want to bring all of these developments further into this year. I want to be a more creative person, more well-rounded person. I want to grow my skills. To me, it's not even really about finishing a draft so much this year. I might not, because I have 2 drafts at the same time, and so I might get both of them to the 70% mark, if that's realistic. I hope the noise is okay. Yeah, to me it is more about the gaining even more confidence, gaining even more skills, trying out even more things. That is really what I want to do this year. And I also know that I work much better when I can focus on a single thing for a longer time, rather than juggling 10 different goals or 10 different habits at the same time. So I decided to make a little bingo card, which also is an idea that's floating around AuthorTube. I think a lot of people are doing bingo type things for their goals in different ways, and I really like this idea. And I also really like the idea of having a theme for a month, and I also really like the idea of having some flexibility. So I made a little bingo card for myself I would have done 12 technically for 12 months and 12 themes for a month, but I actually had a few more goals, and for the bingo card it just makes more sense when you have 4 times 4 rows and columns. Yeah, let me just tell you what the things are that I want to try and or accomplish and or focus on and or enjoy this year. So this month I am already doing this, and I retroactively said that this is the focus of this month because I'm doing this challenge, the One Thing Challenge. I'll link the playlist down below. It's I'm doing daily videos for this challenge, which is crazy for me. originally it was all about showering at night, like changing this one habit, showering at night instead of the mornings, in order to get back to my writing routine, which I already knew which was working for me, which is writing early in the morning and going into the sprint channel with other people and stuff like that. I changed it a little bit. Basically, the one thing is just about thinking ahead the night before, thinking ahead and preparing what I have to do to get myself into the best place so that I can write early in the morning. Along with that habit change type challenge thing and accountability and everything, I'm also doing a daily prompt, which is also something completely new and also something that I've discovered for myself, that I actually like, because I used to always think like, no, I'm focusing on my draft. It's this huge project. Writing a book takes so much time and effort, so why would I sit down and do a 20-minute exercise on a random thing that I just throw in the bin? So I never liked the idea of prompts or writing exercises, but I'm a changed woman now, so I am having the best time doing my daily prompts. And I've also been doing like prompts during my live streams, which is another thing that I've been doing since last year. So yeah, the first theme, which I'm already doing in January, is prompts and exercises. Then I also I want to try a month of morning pages, and it feels much more doable to say I'm going to do it for a month instead of I'm going to start this habit and I'm going to do this indefinitely or this whole year or whatever. I'm just going to try it for a month and we'll see how it goes. I want to go on a writing retreat, which, if everything works out, I will be going on a writing retreat in April with a bunch of people who I've gotten to know through AuthorTube and the Discord, people who also live in Europe, such that like a writing retreat together in person is actually feasible. And we're going to go to like a little hostel type thing. We're going to go rent a room with bunk beds in like a town near Paris. I am so excited. It's going to be my very first writing retreat, and I mean, if I'm good, I could also see myself doing a writing retreat by myself, maybe in the same month, maybe not, we'll see. Like just a thing where I like become a recluse for a weekend and just focus on writing or something like that. I could also see myself doing that. This is another thing that I want to become more of a writer through is beta reading. This is also a thing that the Discord, for example, but also just having writer friends facilitates a lot, is beta reading for each other. And I've always kept in the distance, kept my head down, because I was always like, for one, I generally read audiobooks. I'm very, very slow with physical reading or reading on an e-reader. And beta reading is, you don't have an audiobook yet, obviously. So I was always like, I don't know how long it's going to take me to read a book. And then beta reading, like you really go in and you really, like you take a lot of time. So I always was like, let's pretend that I'm not here when someone was like asking for a beta reader. But I want to do that. I do want to do that. I want to do it for people because I think it's a nice thing to do. I think it's also a great thing to learn from as a writer for myself. And it's a skill that you have to learn. And like all of the people that I know who are writers have such interesting works in progress and projects. And like, I want to read them. So beta reading is one of the things. Another thing is finishing a first draft. I'm not setting it out to be necessarily a goal. Like if I don't cross out all of the squares this year, I think it's okay. Like specifically this one I'm not too sure about, but I won't not put it there, you know. Not like, I won't say that finishing a first draft wouldn't be a nice thing to do, obviously. I also put reading 50 books. Now, in the past years, since I got back into reading and I got into writing and I was learning a lot and discovering audiobooks and just like speeding through books, to be honest, I would read a lot more books than that. But also this year I was reading, I think, about 50, but just about. For a long time I wasn't reading at all. I wasn't like interested, motivated, inspired to read, which kind of sucks. But it's also the fact that when you write more, you just have less time to read. But I do want to get back to reading more regularly and more consistently, so I think 50 books is a good thing. And like basically I would cross that off the month that I kind of dedicate myself to reading more to get to the 50 books. Like, I'm not going to say I'm reading 50 books in 1 month, if that makes sense. Then I want to try D&D or something similar, some kind of like role play type thing, where you put writing concepts into a different context and like act it out and everything. I've never done that, and I'm very curious. Every time someone talks about their D&D campaigns or everything or something like that, I'm always like bug eyes, like, oh, that's so interesting, please do tell me more. And so I don't know how I will get there. Like, I would need people to do that with, obviously, but I do want to do that. And I think if that's a theme for a month, that should be doable, to like find people to try it with, maybe once or twice or whatever. And yeah, I guess these like focuses for a month don't necessarily mean that that has to be the only thing that I do that month, but it's just, if I choose that focus for that month, I will like try to get there. I also want to write 3 short stories. Now, depending on how short they are, that is more easy or more stressful. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that I write the 3 short stories in this 1 month, but like finishing this goal. I also, this is exciting, and also goes to the, I want to become even more so of a writer. I want to publish something, either self-publish or submit something to a publication. And the something I'm thinking of is not a book yet, obviously, but maybe a little collection of poems, maybe a short story, that kind of thing. I want to annotate a book or several books. Over the course of, I think last year, I've bought a lot of physical books I had already read in audiobook form because I wanted to annotate them, but I never got around to that. But I think it would be a really good skill builder and everything for me, so I want to do that also. And then yet another thing, exciting, is I want to write 12 poems. I said 12 because like a poem is pretty quick to do. Like, it's a really short thing. Like, sure, you can like edit it and everything, but it's not really a big project. So I thought like the number 12 seems about right. So, and then something that is not related to writing or reading but is creative is I want to knit or draw 4 things. Could be 2 things that I knit and 2 things that I draw or paint or crochet, in that realm. I have this project where I barely started, but I want to knit a hat for my mom, even though like I haven't knit or crocheted in ages. But when I tried, like I looked up how this works again, the basics, and I really enjoyed the movement of the hands. And I've always really liked drawing and painting, but I never got around to it. Yeah, I just want to do that as well. And then I have 4 extra things that are less so about creativity and stuff, and more so about me personally or about me professionally. I want to network in my industry. Now, these 4 things, obviously I already have 12 focuses for 12 months, and I thought these 4 things could be like for the quarters. I want to network in this industry that I'm trying to get into, which I'm doing this master's for. I want to get clear and define my path forward, which I still don't have clear, really. I also want to do more workouts again, and I have to be careful with workouts because of my health issues, but at the same time, not doing any workouts is also not a solution. I want to try something new and fun. Movement just for the sake of movement can be really boring for me, so it has to be fun. And last but not least is I want to volunteer and get involved. Our world is in dire need of people like putting in some effort and work into making betterments, into combating very terrible developments. So yeah, I want to get there again. And like I was doing something last year, but I'm not entirely sure that it was the right fit. And yeah, I want to reevaluate what I want to do in that realm. It could also be donating, but to be honest, I don't have all that much money, or at least that money that is mine, because I have a bunch of stuff on my bank account, but I have to pay that back to the state because it was like money that I got for studying. I have to run now to class, but I got through. These are the 12 goals for 12 months and the 4 goals for 4 quarters in 2026 that I want to get into, and I'm actually really excited about it. I really hope that this approach is going to be fun and motivating for me rather than like constricting and punishing. Thank you so much for watching. I'm excited to see what this year is going to bring. I'm also a little bit dreading what this year is going to bring. I hope you have a wonderful start to the year, and let me know if you have any goals for you as a creative person. I think that is like undervalued as a thing that is important to us, for us as people. Let's fill the comment section with interesting creative life goals for this year. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in whatever next video, maybe in a live stream. Go check them out because I usually have one every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And goodbye!